You've seen this happen, right? Some social media star just explodes out of nowhere, gets millions of followers, and then poof, they're gone, vanished after just one scandal. It all happens so fast. Today, we're going to dig into the hidden psychology that makes this new kind of fame so incredibly fragile.
I mean, seriously, think about it. 1 minute, it's all about millions of followers and these huge brand deals. The next, it's just a complete and total public meltdown. And it happens with a speed and a brutality you just don't see with, traditional movie stars or musicians. So what is really going on here? What gives? Okay, so to really get the crash, we have to first understand the takeoff. Because what social media has done is build an entirely new kind of celebrity. And this one is standing on a much shakier foundation. Okay, let's dive into this because this chart really lays it all out. On the left, you've got your traditional fame. Think actors, singers, that sort of thing. They spend years honing a craft. It's a slow burn, a gradual climb. But social media fame over on the right? Whoa, that's a rocket launch. It's meteoric. It's an overnight success that isn't built on skill, but on something totally different, a feeling of connection. Yeah, the very definition of talent has been flipped on its head. You don't need to be a brilliant singer or a classically trained actor anymore. The new gold, the new currency is personality, pure audacity, and maybe most importantly, just the raw ability to grab and hold people's attention. They've basically thrown out the old rulebook. So let's move on and see how this builds, because that brings us to the real skill at the heart of all of this. See, the product an influencer is selling isn't just their content, it's the feeling of connection itself. So what's in their toolkit for building this connection so ridiculously fast? Well, they use the way the internet works to their advantage. Ideas spread instantly. They talk to you like a friend, peer to peer, not like some distant star. And they are masters at tapping into bandwagon behavior, getting people to follow what's already popular. It's this perfect formula for explosive growth that requires 0 years of practice.
So, the crucial point is this. An influencer's fame isn't really about how good they are at making videos or taking pictures. Nope, it is entirely dependent on their audience's emotional attachment. And as we all know, emotions, well, they can turn on a dime.
All right, now we're getting to the psychological engine that drives this whole thing. It all comes down to a very specific, very weird, one-sided type of relationship that social media has basically put on steroids. And there's actually a name for it. It's called a parasocial relationship. And this isn't some new internet thing, by the way. This term was coined way back in 1956 to describe how people felt connected to TV news anchors or radio hosts. It's that feeling that you actually know someone you've only ever seen on a screen. The influencer is just the perfect modern-day evolution of this. And this is brilliant, actually. You can see exactly how they build this bond. They use these specific techniques to create that feeling of intimacy. Speaking right to the camera, so it feels like they're talking just to you. They show you unscripted moments to seem authentic. They're always encouraging comments to create interactivity. It's all designed to build this powerful illusion that you're actual friends. So, what happens when this carefully constructed, one-sided relationship just shatters? What happens when the influencer you feel you know does something really wrong? Think about it this way. If your favorite actor is in a terrible movie, you might be disappointed in their work. You'll say, wow, that movie was awful. But you probably don't feel personally betrayed by them, right? The disappointment is about their craft, not about their character.
But for an influencer, it is a completely different story because the whole relationship is built on that feeling of personal connection. Their mistake doesn't feel like a professional failure. To the fan, it feels like a personal betrayal. It feels like a friend just let you down hard.
And here's why that feeling is just so strong. The audience doesn't see the influencer as someone playing a role. To them, the person on camera is the real person. There's no separation between their public persona and their private self. So any bad behavior isn't just a mistake. It's seen as a fundamental flaw in who they are as a human being.
And when that feeling of personal betrayal hits, well, the consequences are swift and they are devastating. The entire house of cards just starts to come tumbling down. I mean, just look at the difference in vulnerability here. A traditional star, they have a body of work, films, albums, whatever, that can kind of cushion them during a scandal. But an influencer, their entire career is built on public goodwill. Once that's gone, poof, there is nothing left to stand on.
And the collapse is a total chain reaction. First, the fans, driven by that same bandwagon behavior, rush to unfollow. I mean, after all, there's no social benefit in supporting someone who's become a social outcast, right? And then, like clockwork, the brands. They run for the hills. They are terrified of being associated with controversy and can't afford any bad press.
So it's almost poetic in a really brutal way. The very same dynamics that allow for that meteoric rise, the network effects, the emotional connection, the bandwagon behavior, those are the exact same dynamics that cause an equally sudden and steep fall from grace.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. What's the fundamental cycle that we've just uncovered here?
Well, it's a pretty clear cycle. Step 1. Fame is built on this powerful but totally one-sided parasocial bond, not on actual craft. Step 2. This bond feels intensely personal to the fans. So, step 3. A misstep isn't seen as a mistake, it's felt as a betrayal. Which, of course, leads to the final step, a swift exodus of both fans and brands, and the whole thing just collapses.
And that leaves us with one final, kind of lingering question, doesn't it? This system, it almost seems like it's designed to collapse. It really makes you wonder about the role that we play in all this. In our hunger for these authentic and relatable stars, have we accidentally created a culture that just builds people up for the satisfaction of tearing them back down? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.